Great. So let's get busy with what I think may be one of our final videos. I've made the decision in the process of the project to eliminate this final bullet, and I think that's just for the fairness of time. I'd love to hack and hack and hack. It turns out this term that we had some events here on campus that compromised our ability to spend additional time here. So we're going to create a very reasonable close and a time limit. So just to repeat, this final bullet is going to get knocked out of our requirements. And maybe we can give people some extra credit if they go after it. Maybe that's a fair, so if you have a weak final or what have you. But these other bullets, everything except for the final bullet is going to be important. So really we want to focus on talking about how to get a holdings for sale. Now inside the main, naturally we're creating a market of symbols, and then we're creating a certain number of buyers. Your machine may tolerate a certain number of buyers. Mine is going right around 1,000, doing reasonable volume at 1,000 buyers. I'm running on a MacBook Air, so there isn't all the memory in the world, and certainly 6,000 symbols. But we're going to build that random portfolio, and that's the critical moment right here. So let's go into build random portfolio. And what's happening here is we may not get to IPO 0, but what we want to say is we want to make that new transaction inevitably, and then add that transaction to our portfolio. And then when we're finished, and you notice my bracket right here, and there's a lot of code that transpires between the brackets, but when we finished iterating to the end of our number of transactions, we're going to go into our sell-off winners. And we've been talking about this recently, so you may not need that much review. But the for sale market is a piece of the market itself. So we actually pass the market to sell-off winners, and you can see within market that we have that for sale market, which is an array list of transactions. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at every transaction within this portfolio, and then for every one of those transactions we're going to study the entire market. And if the symbol in our transaction is the same as the symbol of the stock, we're going to look at each stock one at a time. And if we find the symbol that's the same as the transaction symbol and the price is less than the market price for that stock, we're going to go ahead and add that transaction in our portfolio to the for sale market. And if that's not possible, they say, sorry, we can't make money on that yet. The price of it has not gone up yet. And this will take place if we can't find a matching symbol. So this can optionally be commented out if you want. And then what we're going to do is we're going to return the market back to the calling, back to build random portfolio. And then we're going to return that market back to the main. And that finishes off this rather, that's just one line of code, but that's very standard for what happens when you have a function. And of course, if things crash, we have a little exception where we say, go ahead and capture an exception from that, and we'll go ahead and get the message from that. And then when we're finished with that, go ahead and do a try catch where we're going to output what's inside the for sale market. And we're actually going to say this buyer, take the buyer's name, holds this number purchased at that symbol. And it'd be nice if we had a few more weeks in the class, but this time around we'll be pretty happy with what we got. So let's go ahead and so initially we go through the stocks, but gradually we say this is all the stocks that this buyer has to sell. This is a particular buyer. And these are all stocks that this buyer has decided to put up for sale based upon the fact that the market price is higher than what they originally bought for. So, and that gets us into a really nice position. So I think what I'm saying to our students this term, that if you're able to get to this place, then you should be able to qualify for a full credit project. And maybe some closing notes I'll put down is I'll say, I'm going to say the size of the market is equal to market.m size. And we could say system.out.println. Just for bragging, we could say we created a market of 6,000 stocks. You know, 1,000 buyers. And we currently possess an active market of size of market. And why don't we say market dot for sale market, active market is size of market, individual holdings for sale, just to contrast the size of the stocks that we began with, which is 6,000, based upon the size of the market as it's grown, as new people have entered. So let's go ahead and give that a try, let the market warm up a little bit. And by the end, we'll have a little statement to say, we created a market of 6,000 stocks, 1,000 buyers, and we have 12,000 individual holdings for sale that are eligible for sale. So that's fun. So we can run that a couple times and see how that fluctuates. Now that's going to be a different statistic, you know, every time. 12,000, 13,000. That's what we're currently finding out. Now I think it'd be fun in maybe a future iteration to kind of parse that and say for every transaction inside the market's for sale market, it'd be kind of fun to make a double called the sum of all transactions, and say the sum of all transactions is equal to itself plus the price of that transaction times the number of stock purchased. That would be really fun to come up with a large sense of the overall value or capitalization, you know, is equal to the sum of all those transactions. You know, that could be fun too. And so let's just see if that runs. And that might be a fun way to kind of put the cherry on the sundae. And so that's a big number. You know, there are 12 zeros there, overall market cap. And the problem with that is the order of magnitude of the value of the market is so big that we have here that we really are running out of numbers, or running out of the words of numbers. So for example, if you have a number with 12 places to it, we really have a tera market, which really has, or rather it's a tera market, which has 12, it's at a magnitude of 12 zeros. So that's going to be quite a fun market to speak of. We really have a market valuation of literally that size. So you guys are really an interesting piece. So yeah, so let's try to cap the exercise. You know, I think we'll have a total of 25 videos, 24 individual skill videos and 125 wrap up. And then we'll probably say something fun and philosophic in the next video just to kind of congratulate you and send you on your way. But this should be a very adequate way to close up your introduction to Java, for goodness sake. And you can always go through life saying, well, yeah, we had it so tough in our Java class. We had to code a digital stock market. What did you do in your Java class? So you should walk around with a little swagger. One thing I would recommend for you to do is when you finish with your stock market is maybe post it up to GitHub. So when you go in for a programmer interview, you can, brag about how tough you had it, when you did your class, and this is what you had to see. But also you can kind of advertise to people that you're very comfortable working with collections and other very vital data structures and algorithms inside of Java, and that you're just very comfortable with a very modern application for Java too. And I think you should have some confidence based upon that. Maybe think about being a developer, where you've stuck with one project for the whole darn semester. That's pretty real. And we'll put that up against anybody's. Bring on all the other great polytechnic colleges and show me what they're doing too. We should be able to hold our own right there. So anyway, good job. I'll get back to you.